Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast. I am a woman on a mission to gather a cadre of writers, thinkers, and teachers who are transforming the world, one character at a time. And all it takes is a deep understanding of human motivation, why people do what they do, and the forces that drive them. But I am also on a mission to help you have the Zettelkasten of your dreams on your work table beside you. So how am I going to marry these two? The answer is that I am showing you how I actually work with my Zettelkasten on a real world problem so that you can see how your Zettelkasten can function when you work on your problem. Okay, today I'm bringing in a rather interesting question, the idea of intuition. I never regard myself as being an intuitive person. I'm very sequential. I'm very logical. My background is math and computer science. Where does intuition come in? Well, I've been making a deliberate attempt to permit intuition to have a role in my work with my Zettelkasten. And when I was gathering the materials for my research for this month's newsletter, which is going to be on the third type of courage, patience, the endurance of pain and suffering, I was gathering materials, some books that I knew I had. Well, a book kind of wanted to be included, The Winner's Bible by Carrie Spackman. I do not know why my intuition decided that it wanted this book, but because I'm making a deliberate attempt to make space for intuition, I added it to my stack. Well, today's the day that I decided to go in with it. Now, I'm using the Zettelkasten method of syntopical reading. With that method, you, the author, bring yourself and your problem into a section, a series of sources where you're bringing your problem into the thing that you are reading, and you are asking that resource, what can you tell me about the problem that I'm working on? Okay, so you know the problem that I'm working on. This is the resource that intuition told me to gather. Well, Zettelkasten says my first step in the process is to go to the index and look for references to what I'm trying to research. Well, no index. So I went to the table of contents and I identified an area to start with, and I will show you in the down-facing camera what happened when I let intuition have a little bit of sway in my work. So come on over and I'll show you what I mean. So here's my bib card. I'm not doing a fancy one with the picture because it's a very specialized use. I'm diving in to see if I can learn about the third form of courage, which is patience, the endurance of suffering and discomfort, and what this book might have to teach me about that topic. No index, so when I went to the table of contents, I did identify right away with page 59, the limbic system for emotions, because that ties directly to the source I was just using, How Emotions Are Made by Lisa Feldman Barrett. In reading this section on the limbic system, I saw visualization techniques wire your frontal lobes with your limbic system. I thought, okay, that's rather interesting because that's another area that I explore in my newsletters. How do you get your subconscious mind to cooperate with your conscious mind so that you can be in the flow state? So I thought that might be rather interesting. But in the midst of it, it said, but what you really want to do with this is use visualization to harness the energy of the limbic system under the control of the frontal lobes. So it told me to go see chapter 2. So I followed that rabbit hole. So down in chapter 2, I was looking for, okay, what section of chapter 2 looked appropriate? And I let intuition lead me to visualization influences your whole day. Well, on my way to page 38, I was at page 37, flipping through to find page 38, and something just jumped off the page at me. Being able to cope with that level of pain for that length of time, it's a sentence fragment, but what? Coping with pain? That's exactly what I'm researching. It's not in the section, but it was on the way to the section. Starting to feel a little bit weird, but it was in the middle of a section that began on the previous page, Winners' Goals Are Different. And when I read the story that Carrie Spackman presents in this section, Page 38, Winners' Goals Are Different if you have the Winner's Bible. That's my opening story for my newsletter. Now, I know most of you aren't subscribers to my newsletter. I have 39 subscribers, but some of the people that really watch a lot of my videos are subscribers, so I don't want to spoil it. So therefore, I won't go into detail on the story, but it's a real life demonstration of the level of patience that is required to be world number one in an athletic event. And that story, having read it, also reminded me of another example that I have used in the past for patients, which is a story of a grandmother. And I think that contrasting the story of a world number one athlete with an ordinary grandmother, both of whom cope with that level of pain for that length of time for a higher goal. And so I just wanted to share that with you. I haven't made a main card yet with it or anything, but I guess my experiment in letting intuition have a role kind of panned out. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. What happened when I actually let my intuition take a turn? It turned out my story for my newsletter. But am I going to trust this stuff? It's a little weird. See you later.